So since Karen got us started, it looks like you all know us. So this is wonderful. This is going to make our jobs easier for this first part. Okay, so you know how to use the chat and you know how to type your names in here. For those of you who are just coming in, if you could please type your name, your campus, your email address, please. And this is basically like an informal kind of roll sheet that helps us to show the value of the work that we're doing here. So we really appreciate it. These are all free, obviously, so we appreciate all of you kind of doing an informal sign-in sheet. Okay, we have 87 people in here. Whoops. So we said 50, but we got 87. So we are, oh my goodness gracious, excited you're here. Okay, so that means that we're going to follow a protocol, which means that we're going to keep ourselves on mute. And we are going to, because we have so many people here, we're going to keep ourselves on mute. You're going to type your questions in the chat. And those of us who are supporting are going to go ahead and just type in, we're going to kind of curate those.
Okay, are we ready to get started?
Yep.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Devin Werble. I work with 3CSN, which is the sponsor of these wonderful online web series for the community. I also teach at LA Valley College and at Pierce College, English 101 and Linguistics. Keelan, do you want to introduce yourself? Tell people who you are.
Hi. Well, I've seen some of you already today, and other days, so it's wonderful to see some familiar faces here. I'm Keelan Coney, the Communications Coordinator for 3CSN, and what we call academic first responders here at 3CSN, and just like super thrilled to be in community with all of you amazing educators who truly, like, my heart is full at how amazing you are and how much you give up your time in order to learn to support the students.
And Joanna, do you want to say hello?
Hi, I wasn't sure I was able to unmute. Hi, everyone. I'm Joanna Zimringtown. I'm a 3CSN coordinator and also a faculty counselor with the LA Community College District, and coordinate the LA Community College Promise program through the LACCD.
Awesome. Thank you. And Diana, are you here? I don't know if I saw her. I thought I did see her, but maybe not. Maybe she's off. Okay. So Keelan, am I going to share my screen and go into our Zoom 101?
Do it.
All right, here we go. So here is a fun thing that we're gonna show you. I guess before I share my screen and get started, what I'd like for y'all to do is kind of play around with your Zoom. So you can see me. Hi, everybody. Nod if you can see me. Wave your hands. Do something cool. Give me a little dance. Whatever you got to do. Yay! Thank you. Okay, groovy. So there's a variety of different things that you can do on Zoom. And really what this is, obviously, is a video conferencing app. And I think we missed the boat on investing in Zoom, right? But maybe we'll have the opportunity to invest soon because Zoom is gonna skyrocket. Anyway, so you should see a couple things depending upon the kind of operating system you use. The interesting thing about Zoom here is there's no one size fits all answer as far as the technical stuff is concerned. But what you'll see on somewhere is participants. Does everyone see where you can see that there's 93 participants in the Zoom room right now? If you can see that, give me a yes. Click on the green check mark yes box. Let me see those yeses. Participants, if you hover down underneath me, you're gonna see maybe mute, stop video, invite, participants is there. I'm seeing a lot of green yeses. This is groovy. People are putting yes in the chat. This is also very groovy. These are all good things. Beautiful. Good stuff. Good stuff. So that is one way that you can communicate. And if you see that yes checkmark box, there's also a no, there's a go slower, there's a go faster. So there are all of these ways that you can communicate with the host, you know, of your call, and also with people in the Zoom meeting as well. So I see some folks that are having some issues in chat. I know Keelan or Joanna will help y'all find that. But it's really all about the hovering of the mouse that we have discovered in these Zoom sessions. So let's say something goes away, just bring that mouse around and keep it alive and active, and it will kind of wake up things as we go along. Okay, so I see we found the chat. Some of us have found the participants, and now I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. You guys see that beautiful island with the ocean?
Not yet, but soon.
Okay.
No, I just see
PowerPoint.
Yeah, I see the PowerPoint.
Okay, Ruby, we are cooking with gas. That's what my dad used to say. Or the electric stovetop, one of those two. Okay, so here we are together. This is kind of tricky because I'm doing there we go.
Okay, Rosa, that's good because you're supposed to. Awesome.
Okay. All right, so thank you so much for joining us today. We at CSN are a teaching and learning organization, and while we may not have all of the answers that come up today, we are working on a very thorough FAQ, and we're ensuring that we capture everything that comes in today. This session is also being recorded, Keelan, is that correct?
That's correct.
I think so.
For teaching
Beautiful.
purposes.
So
Yep.
Yay, so the session is being recorded. You'll have access not only to the recording, to the answers that come up in the chat box, but also to this PowerPoint. So if at any point you feel like you've lost us, or if I'm going too fast, I apologize. We just want to get through as much as we can get through for you all here today.
You can also use those buttons,
Yeah.
right? The go faster and slower ones. You could click on those too.
You can click on those. I actually, when I share my screen, for whatever reason, that kind of stuff goes away for me.
Oh no,
So,
I'm the one who's managing that part. Don't
oh,
worry.
beautiful. Oh my
Do
gosh,
not
thank you.
worry.
And then Keelan, if you're getting like a tell me to slow down, I totally will. So just
That's
let me know.
why. That's why.
Okay.
I'm here for y'all.
You're the best. So the purpose here really is for us to create a sense of community together. How do we create these online environments for our students, for ourselves, in this weird kind of unknown time? And so we're really committed to all of you to ensure that we offer as many opportunities for this learning as we can. And we'll tell you a little bit more about what we have later on. So this session is going to be all about Zoom. We're going to play with Zoom a little bit. You're going to have an opportunity to see all of the things that Zoom has to offer. We're going to do, I would say, about 25, 30 minutes. And then we'll have some structured time for Q&A towards the end. And really our goal for today is to ensure that you just kind of get the basics of Zoom, but that you also understand as a participant what it's like to experience a Zoom. And sometimes those are the most rich opportunities for learning, is just being a participant in a Zoom session, playing around with it, enjoying something like that productive struggle, right, that we talk about when we're using technology. And if technology fails us, we're like, but we got to figure this stuff out together. With that, we'd like to start off with some ground rules or some community agreements for our time together. And these are some of the community agreements that have been created already over the course of a week. And we do these with our students as well. We do this with each other at 3CSN. But I give you an opportunity to read these quietly to yourself. Think about an online learning environment that you would create for your students, and see if you'd like to add anything to this list. I'll give you a quiet moment. If and when you have something you'd like to add, you can go ahead and put that in the chat box. We can add something if it comes up. Okay, Keelan, is there anything added into the chat yet?
No.
for community agreements. So it looks like you guys are all good with community agreements. You're happy with these? Remember, these are some things that you can steal this from us. You can add these into your own Canvas classes. You can add this into your Zoom sessions. Yes, so these are really kind of nice to have to start off the session with. And I really like my favorite one. Where was it? This idea of exercising patience with yourself and with others. I've been working on that this week myself, not only for me, but for my children who are homeschooling and for my daughter using Zoom from one another, you know, in our work. And so we really have to make sure that we remember that we're all in this together. Okay, moving right along. Okay, so the basics of Zoom here we go. Basically, Zoom, as y'all know so far, it's a video conferencing app. And there's a couple ways that you can get an account. Most all of us from the community college system have accounts that have been issued to us. It allows us to have a virtual face-to-face meeting. So these face-to-face meetings right now, we're live, we're synchronous, we're here together, right? And so that's kind of cool. It's an opportunity for us to play with seeing each other live. If I wanted to, I could change my background and have the San Francisco Bay Bridge behind us, and maybe we'll play with that a little bit later. But there are really neat things that you can do in the Zoom. It shows what's on your screen as well. So we're going to play with how to share the screen. You're gonna see how to do that. You can use a whiteboard. So for those of you that would like to have a very active session with students, you can throw up a whiteboard and you can have folks annotate on that whiteboard, and we're going to show you that. Obviously, you know, you can record the session. So if anytime you have a Zoom session outside of your Canvas, you can always record that Zoom session. I think, Keelan, correct me if I'm wrong, but it takes about 24 hours for Zoom to give it back to you after it's recorded. Is that right?
Yes, and then we have to make sure that it's edited and uploaded to, you all know how YouTube functions, so it takes a while to get those videos in there.
Okay, and so, and then with closed captioning, that's the next step. And there are so many other features, and really depending on the kind of, oh, sorry, go ahead. Keelan, go ahead.
May I just let you all know really quick, one cool trick. Okay, so when you click on the chat box at the bottom where you type in a chat, next to file, there are 3 little dots. And you can click on save chat at the top, and that will actually save the chat for you at the end of the session. So that way you have all of the links and everything that we're putting in here.
Awesome. So here are some little housekeeping things for you to think about before we jump in and we show you things and I have you play. So before your meeting, you always want to do a little bit of video and audio quality control. I have a MacBook, and so I'm using my computer speaker and my computer, what is it called? Camera. So that's all built in for me. Some people would rather, you know, plug in a headset and use a headset if that's better quality. I do have a window behind me right here, and it's not wonderful, but that's just the way my background is for now. I'm just doing my best. So when you're thinking about adjusting the lighting, sometimes it's hard to do. You always want to make sure that your hair is done and coiffed, as is mine. I'm just kidding. That's low priority. But you do want to make sure that you, you know, business on top and pajamas on bottom, if you get my drift. Again, I'm kidding. But we want to make sure that we model this with our students as well. So we want to make sure that we have the right place and a good spot for us to be able to be seen, able to be heard without a lot of distractions. So that's key. So thinking about your background, I did my best to kind of move myself. I did a terrible job. Here I am now. That's a little bit better. My head is now in front of the window, so there's not so much light behind me. I did clean up the bed. This is like the spare bedroom that I work in. So I did clean up the bed, so you see a decorative pillow and not other things. If you have, you know, workout equipment behind you that decides to become another closet, those are some of the things that you just want to remove as many distractions as possible. And the other thing that I think is, oh, Keelan.
Oh, I was gonna say, you can
Go ahead,
also
my dear.
just kind of like put something behind you. So my therapist was telling me earlier today that she's planning on putting up like a bamboo screen and like working in a closet at her house if she has to be quarantined. So she's like, you know, so we can kind of like create spaces that nobody really, you can just put stuff up, green screen, you can get a, you know, put up a sheet, all kinds of creative things that you can do.
Awesome. I love the creativity. Absolutely. The other thing that I think is really fun, and this is kind of tough, is to practice speaking at the camera, because I want to see what my face looks like. I'm like, do I look okay? And it shouldn't matter what my face looks like. I should just be looking at the camera, because that means I'm looking at all of you. Isn't this such a better angle for me anyway? Anyway, I'm kidding. So practice looking at the camera, but sometimes it's hard to do that. All right, let's move on. So let me see here. Some more stuff. So before our meeting, you can set up some different things, and I'm going to go into how to set those up now. So when you optimize Zoom, you see this next slide. We want to make sure that when you share your desktop, you want your desktop to be as clean as possible. So when you have, Keelan, this is not, I love you so much. When you have a lot of things open for me, I could get really nervous that I would click the wrong thing, like my Amazon shopping list, or like my workout that I did at 5 a.m. or whatever that is. So if you do screen sharing for students, like if you want to do a PowerPoint with them, or share a whiteboard to do some activities in math or science or whatever that is, you just want to make sure that you reduce the other things that are open to make it really clean for yourself as the host. I also think a really good habit is to practice doing it. So like get a couple people together from your neighborhood, from your family, whomever, and practice doing a Zoom session so you get a little bit comfortable doing it. Okay. All right. Move back. Here we go. So now I'm going to stop sharing my screen here, and I'm going to go into, let's see, hold on one second. I'm going to toggle a little bit back and forth, forgive me. And I'm going to go into my Zoom account. Give me a moment. Okay. All right, now I'm going to share my screen again. So fun, right? Isn't it so fun? Okay. Oh. Okay, now do you see Zoom?
Yep.
Yay,
Sure
wonderful. Yay. Okay. So here is my Zoom account. I'm using my college account. And here is what, when you log into Zoom, this is kind of your home page or your profile page. I typically have a picture here. I don't know where it went, but if I wanted to add a picture, I could just click this button, change, and I can upload a picture from my computer and save it. That's actually kind of nice to do because there are many names out there that are similar. And so to have your picture that your students are used to seeing is kind of nice, so they know that they're in the right Zoom place. So here's just kind of like, this is all about me. This is my time zone. This is my stuff. So there's nothing really here that we need to kind of go into. But what I want to take you through is this idea of scheduling a meeting. So on your left-hand side here, you see the word meetings. If you've got upcoming meetings already scheduled, those would be here. This whole top bar here has different things for you to look at. You've got previous meetings that you've been in. You have a personal meeting room, which we're not going to go into today. And then we'll talk a little bit about meeting templates. So let's go in and let's show you how to schedule a new meeting. Hey, there's the button right there. So if I want to schedule a new meeting, all I would do is press schedule a new meeting.
Love it.
And then this screen opens up. I think it's really important for us to make sure that we name our meetings very clearly. Like Keelan is the master at this, because if you have a lot of Zoom meetings that you're frequently going to be on, you don't want to grab the wrong meeting ID and be in the wrong place, and then your students are over here or your faculty over there. So let's just say topic. Workout with friends. That's very apropos to me. You don't know me, but this is very apropos to me. So workout with friends. I'm going to do a Zoom and I'm going to hang out with my friends a little bit later today. So in order to pull up this calendar function, you just press the calendar icon here and you choose the date. You can even toggle through with the arrow to choose future dates, right? So let's go back to today, March 25th. And then let's do like a, I don't know, Keelan, like a happy hour workout with friends at 5.
That's right.
Who needs wine?
Our virtual happy hour.
We need squats and lunges is what we need. And so also make sure that you click AM or PM. Sometimes we can forget to choose these things. And so we want to make sure that we're choosing the right time of day. And Keelan made a really good note yesterday, feels like last week, yesterday about time zone. So mostly we're working with people on our time zone here in California. But if you're working with people in a different time zone, you obviously want to make sure that it's the right time zone. And that could be chosen in this box here. So you're going to have how many hours of your workout. What we do know is that basic Zoom accounts have a limit of 40 minutes. Is that right, Keelan? But Zoom Pro accounts have an unlimited amount of time.
Yeah. I believe that one-on-one you can do you can do more, but for more than 2, it's a 40-minute thing. Yeah.
Okay. So
you want to use your Pro. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, this is one of my favorite features of Zoom. You can recur this meeting. So you can say, I want to work out with friends every day at 5. This is going to be something I'm going to put in my calendar. And I'm going to do this daily. I'm going to do this daily until I die. So you're going to repeat it every day. You're going to maybe add, like you're going to do this for, let's say, 6 months or something. So you're going to say, okay, I'm going to end this on May 14th. 2020. It's going to repeat every day, and now it's in there for good. Registration, Keelan, I forget about registration. Don't worry about clicking that box.
We definitely wouldn't want to require registration with our friends that we're trying to work out with.
That's right. Because we're going to share with you in a moment how you're going to send that link to your friends. So with regards to meeting password, this again is going to be in the invitation that you're going to send. So you don't have to click on the require meeting passcode or password. For your video, this is where you would put host and participant. You would say you want the host on, you want the video on, and you want the participant on. Something to note though is when your participants come into your Zoom meeting, even though you have said that you want these 2 buttons on, they can at any time stop their video. So if they're like, I gotta run, I gotta go do something, they can go ahead and stop their video in the session. Audio, this is where you would select audio, again, in the spirit of accessibility for ourselves and for our students. Not all students may have access to a live video stream, so ensuring that they can join in via their telephone and their computer audio is best. So I always have this clicked both here. So it provides 2 different ways to access the audio. So meeting options. Now, again, this is for my friends doing a workout together. If this was for students, I would say, don't click on enable join before host. You want to welcome your students into your Zoom class. So instead of doing this, enable join before host, just click it off. Because if this is clicked, that means that they could come in and start kind of like being loud and crazy and chaotic, which is what happened with my 7.5-year-old in her Zoom meeting. It was insanity. Another good thing to do if you have a lot of people is to mute participants upon entry. So that way when people are coming in, you're not hearing a bunch of feedback, and it comes in and it's pretty clean, so there's no confusion. Another nice thing to do, and I think that we've done this with all of our Zoom meetings, is click on Enable the Waiting Room, which basically allows the participants who you're inviting into your Zoom to sit in a place until the host opens up the meeting. So that way, let's say I'm waiting to get into a Zoom meeting. I see it on my computer. I know I'm in the right place. I'm in a waiting room, and I'm going to be accepted in once the host is ready to go. So that's kind of nice because it tells students that they're in the right place, right? That they've found it, they've gotten there. And that could be very motivating and confidence building for our students. Don't worry about this breakout room pre-assigned. We're not going to go there today. So now I'm going to press the save button. This here with alternative hosts, Keelan gives a really cool example, which if I butcher this, Keelan, jump in. But let's say you know that there's a wonderful student in your class, and perhaps they've reached out to you and they want to take notes or they want to help manage the chat. You can actually put their name in here and say, oh yes, thank you so much, Keelan. I know that she's going to be wonderful and she's going to help me in this Zoom chat. So she can be an alternative host, and alternative hosts have different privileges in that Zoom meeting. But for now, I would just say, don't worry about that. Just press save and you have created your first meeting. This is what it looks like. Here it is, my meeting, manage workout with friends. Here's the time and the date, right? Here's the meeting ID, which is generated automatically in Zoom. And here is one of the essential pieces. How do I invite my students? How do I invite my friends to work out with me? Yes? Here is that join URL. And Zoom does this beautiful thing. It allows you to press this beautiful link here, copy the invitation. And I'm going to do that in a moment. Before I do that, I just want to show you what Zoom also does. All of the information that we put in that previous page is all here. So if there's anything that you added in and you're like, oh, whoops, I really wanted to allow them to come in before, you could go back and edit that. So this just gives you an opportunity to kind of check yourself to make sure that all of the settings that you added in are exactly how you want your Zoom to be. So let's now go ahead and copy the invitation, and a new screen is going to come up. Hey there, Devin Werble is inviting you to a scheduled Zoom meeting, workout with friends. Wow, it's going to go for months. I'm going to be so fit. My quarantine body is never going to know what hit me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy. You're welcome. A little bit of comedy never hurt anybody. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this meeting invitation. So you must do that other step, right? After this screen comes up, you must click this bottom blue button, copy meeting invitation. And then you see this copy to clipboard. Now you're going to go ahead and close it. And that is the link that you're going to use. I'm just going to show you something real fast because it's fun. That's the link that you're going to use in your email or your Canvas message to your students. So let me show you what that looks like. How am I doing on time? Doing all right. Okay.
Yeah, you're doing all
so
right.
I'm just opening up my email to make it a little simple. So I'm going to go to Compose and I'm going to say, watch this. This is so cool. Here's my meeting ID. And if you're using a PC or if you're using a Mac, you know, either or, you just use your Control V or your Command V. It's taking forever to load a new document. Here we go. All right. Friends. Hold on, friends. Sorry, Joanna. So now here I am. Zoom workout. Let's do this. Yeah,
Oh,
baby.
yay. I'm so honored.
So that's what happens is you just put it into your email or to your Canvas post for your students. You copy and paste the information that Zoom generated for you, right? Just Control V, copy, paste, and there it is. All of the information that you need or that your students need to join your video. And then you just press send. Bye-bye. You're welcome so much. Now you guys can work out with me later. Okay. All right. So the other piece of that, are there any questions before I move on to saving the meeting as a template? Keelan, should I pause or are we okay?
I think you're okay. It says, so there isn't a direct way to send it via text.
I have never used that feature before.
Oh, yes. Yes, you can. Well, you can. If you're doing it on your phone, then you can actually use the Zoom app, which a lot of people are using, and just copy
True.
that invitation and just send the link directly in there. Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. All right, good. So now what if I decided, you know what? I want to save this meeting, not just as a meeting that I'm gonna have forever, but I'm gonna save this meeting as a template for other meetings. And that's what this is this template will copy all of the settings that you put in place that we just created, the Workout with Friends. And so you don't have to do all of those other pieces again, right? So when I say the settings, all of this stuff here is included in that template, and all of this stuff here is included in that template, but you can obviously change the date and time if you'd like. So let's go back over here.
So there's a lot of questions. I don't know.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of questions about if you do the scheduling in Canvas,
Right.
or if it's a different option. If you can send that invite out directly through Canvas rather than sending it this way. So there's quite a few questions about that. Do you?
Yeah, and I did post a video in there that will help you with that integration. So we did mention last session that we are actually going to be having a more intensive, because that also has there's a lot more going on there. So you might want to kind of consider whether, because it's a pretty complex inside of Canvas. So some of you are going to be very comfortable and familiar with that. And others may find that this is a little bit easier to manage because there's a lot, it looks intimidating when you go in there. It's real clicky. It's great, but there's a lot of different things that are happening in there.
Yeah. And the other thing too is that not all, from what we understand, not all campuses or districts have the Confer Zoom embedded in Canvas yet, right? But those of you that do have that, start playing around with it. Mm-hmm. There's no harm in playing around with it.
Yeah.
I'm doing my first one, I think next week with a student for her research paper. So I'll let you know how it goes. I'm not certain yet. Okay, so let's go to, I recorded this meeting. I want to make sure that I can send this recording out or have it accessible to my students. That is over here on this left-hand side under recordings. So I don't have any recordings right now. Otherwise, they would be here, saved and ready to go. So I don't have that, but. So that's the basics on creating a meeting. Now I thought what we can do is we can play with some of the controls that you may see right now in your Zoom meeting. So I am going to do a fun thing where I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And instead, I'm going to share a whiteboard. Does everyone see a whiteboard?
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead now and please hover your mouse up above, I guess, the gallery or the whiteboard, and go ahead and find where it says, I don't see where it says it, Keelan, what does it say again?
View options.
View options, yep. Thank you. Yeah. Yay, there we go. So view options, and then you're gonna go scroll down to where it says annotate.
Yay.
There it is. And you can play in here. Yeah, isn't that beautiful? Oh, you guys, I'm gonna save this art. I'm gonna put it on my wall. I was looking for a new art piece. You know, so why would we use this? How would this be helpful for students? It's cool because it's in real time, right? And so it allows you to have students engage in an active way and not just talk to them, which I'm doing to you right now. I'm so sorry.
Oh dear, who's writing help me?
Oh, oh God. Are you okay? Help.
Send us a message. Okay.
Yeah, make sure you're okay. The other nice thing here is that when you are the host, I could erase this. So I'm sorry, I love you all, but I could clear all the drawings, right? The other thing that I can do is that if I was, let's say, a physics instructor or a math teacher and some students were working on some work together, I can also save it. So if you see in the annotation bar, the last button is save, you can actually save it and you'll find it in your, I think in your, where will you find it, Keelan? In your computer or in Zoom?
Oh, it'll be in your computer.
It'll be in your computer. Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
Now, in terms of, we did have a question about iPads.
Okay.
So the pen is the thing. So do you see the pen feature? Because that's how you write on the iPad.
Air conditioning and refrigeration. Actually, my refrigerator is broken. If someone could help me with that, that would be wonderful. All right. I'm loving this art. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, great.
Okay, there was a quick question about how you open the whiteboard.
How do you open the whiteboard? Oh, okay, yeah. So let's go there. So let me play with that now. If I go, you probably can't see me do this, but if I go to stop share, if you hover at the bottom of the Zoom meeting here, and you see where it says 97 participants, give me a thumbs up or a yes if you see that, a yes. You're gonna see an icon that says share screen. Keelan, do they see that? They can get that, right?
They can see it themselves.
Are you seeing that now?
I typed it into the chat as well. You go to share and then select whiteboard.
Okay, good. Yeah. So when you open up that share screen, you're gonna get a new window that opens up and it's gonna ask you, do you wanna open up a whiteboard? There we go, look at it. Yes, Sanjeev, nice work. Now we're looking at his. And so now what can we do on his? We can annotate. Excellent.
Oh, I thought you were typing hello or writing hello help again. Nanette has a really good sense of
That
humor.
was me that kept writing help.
Oh, okay, good.
It was a joke.
Nanette said that too. Yeah. Very funny.
And then of course, when you're done sharing your screen, you want to stop sharing your screen, right? So you want to make sure that if you don't want to share anymore and you just want to go back to,
I don't need it. put it
I
on-
just want to comment on this incredible art. Like, this is really good.
it really is.
Look at that green man. This is amazing.
State system Zoom test. So when you want to annotate, like you want to draw perspective.
All right. So whoever was sharing their screen, would you mind to play with stop sharing now? If you don't mind, just practice.
Oh, stop share.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yay! So good. Look at us. We're professionals.
So Darrow had a question.
Okay, yeah, let's go to
Yeah.
questions for the rest of the time, if necessary.
Darrow
ahead.
Soares, did you want to share your question? Let me unmute you. Okay.
Not have a question.
What was your question, Darrow?
No question.
No question? Oh, okay. Sorry, I couldn't hear you very well. You had your hand raised. Got it. Okay.
I have a question. So for my phone, I have the app Zoom, and I'm trying to like add contacts, but it won't let me from my phone book. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah.
Hard to see, but like I enter my phone number and then it just doesn't let me. Like it never sends me a text message. Because I want like people on my contacts and just link them, if that makes sense. So we can host meetings and things like that.
You may want to go into, we have found some incredible resources on zoom.com. They
Okay.
have fabulous short video tutorials. that
Yes,
you
I'm
can
going to share
find.
that help center right now in the chat.
Yeah, so for a lot of the other more nuanced applications that Zoom offers, we're all about the Zoom video tutorials. Those will really help you.
Oh my gosh, yes.
The other thing I wanted us to play with, unless there are any other questions, I thought that I would change my background.
I think
if-
someone had a question really quick about sharing like from an iPad or other type of thing. You can share, when you go onto share screen, if you click on advanced, it gives you the option to share from a second camera.
And
And
I think they said they did try that, but it wasn't working. So I sent
Okay.
the link
Yeah,
for the
then
some
definitely go. And you can also share music. So if you want to have music playing, especially, you know, you can share music or computer sound only. So that's
Yeah.
an option.
Yeah.
And there's also a little button that says share computer sound. So if you want to have a little music playing before you get started or at the beginning, or it's a way to make it a little bit more engaging.
A little bit moody, you know, bring in the feels, the emotion.
Okay, so there are some questions about backgrounds, direct light, background change with the green screen. It goes to your image. So changing the background, if you go to the bottom of the screen with that little caret next to the video, and it might be at the top of your screen, then you're going to click on choose a virtual background. And you need to make sure that the green screen is enabled, even if you don't have a green screen. So it's kind of fun what Devin has. But you can also get that green screen to put behind you, and you can do some fancy stuff. Lilith does that amazing stuff. And I actually bought a green screen because she inspired me. So I'm going to like play with it, see how it goes. And then she told me I need a light. There's like a whole setup that I got to get together. Okay, other questions? Let's see.
How do you enable the green screen? Do you have to buy a green screen, or is
Well,
it
you have to buy a green screen, but you can put at the bottom, like you can, Devin doesn't have a green screen. So just make sure that you don't uncheck that. Because if you uncheck that you don't have a green screen, it's gonna say you need one, basically.
Yeah.
So just leave it checked and just play around with it. So you can put any picture back there. It's kind of fun.
It also really depends on your computer. So the higher kind of like graphics you have on your computer, like if you have more of a gaming computer, you'll be able to do it without the green screen and without enabling green screen. If you don't, then you won't. So it's really very computer dependent, and it's not all going to look like Devin. Some are going to look better, some are going to look worse, some is not going to work. So you really have to play around with it on your own computer, because it really depends on the technical specs of the computer you're using.
Yeah, absolutely.
Devin,
Okay,
how
so-
did you do that thing behind you?
So if you scroll down to underneath the pictures and you go to see where it says stop video, and then there's a little arrow next to that, little up arrow.
Stop video.
Yeah, it's like, it looks like a little caret, like you're inserting something. Where the video is. You probably don't see stop video like we do.
Yeah, I don't.
But it's next to, it's going to be like, there's a little caret and it says, it might be under more. There are different places and it says choose a virtual background. But it's where you're mute. Do you see your little
got it.
microphone? So
Yeah.
click on choose a virtual background, and then there are certain ones that are preset. So you have to choose the one. They have different preset ones. So you can click on add an image, and that gives you But this is what happens in my particular. So if I put something behind me, let's see. It's not letting me do it right now. No.
That's so interesting, Keelan. I wonder why that is.
Oh, it's because of the background in my office.
Oh, I see. Got it.
So you
Okay.
see?
Yeah. Giuseppe is sharing their screen. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I thought I'd just let you know that Giuseppe, there we go. Nice work. Now you figured out how to stop it. Woohoo! Learning.
Okay, so someone asked, can you demonstrate, Shelly Rozonka asked, can you demonstrate sharing a document like in Word?
Yes, I can. So again, you would go to the
Mary,
share.
that is amazing. I'm enjoying all of these like very interesting and surreal moments that we're experiencing. And you can disappear into it as well, which is kind of cool. And then come back out.
So I would just go to desktop, right, Keelan? And then I would pull up
Yeah.
my Finder.
Or the puppy image.
So I would just choose the first. Oh, yeah. I get the puppy image from the other day. So what I did is I went to share screen and I just grabbed the first option, which is desktop 1. Do you see now that I'm in my document folder? Give me a thumbs up or a nod. Okay, groovy. So here are all of my documents. And if I wanted to pull something up, let's say, oh yeah, where's my puppy? That puppy makes me happy. There it is. There's my puppies. Aren't they cute? I pulled them up yesterday to show how to put an image in Canvas. But that's how you would do that, is you would just grab anything from your desktop. Yeah. Anything else I can play with and share? I'm trying to think if there's one thing that I missed, which
I just mention a few things that some of them have been on the chat, but one is you can also in the settings you can set it up so that only the hosts can share their screen. So if you don't want your students to be able to share their screen because for whatever reason there are like Zoom pranksters out there that potentially share inappropriate things on their screen or whatever, just trying to cause chaos. Most students won't do that, but you never know. You can in the settings set it up so that only the hosts can share their screen and not the attendees, if that's important to you. And another thing is you can, if you're using the whiteboard, also there is a setting to allow you to save the whiteboard content once you stop sharing it. So if you want to save like what ends up being on the whiteboard, you can, that's another setting in your in the more comprehensive settings. There's a ton of settings in there, but just a couple of those that you might want to know about.
Joanna, can you show, if we have a moment, can you show us where that is in settings where you don't allow participants to share their screen?
Sure. So the person that's sharing, Sarah, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, Sarabjit, if you could stop sharing. Because one of the things with Zoom is only one person can share at a time. So you have to have the other person stop sharing before you can share. So that's another reason why you might not want to let your students share their screen. So Sarabjit, great, thank you so much. So I'm gonna share my screen. So this is my Zoom, just like Devin was on the profile. Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
So Devin was on the profile page. On the settings page, there are settings galore on this page. So using your personal meeting ID is also a good thing when scheduling a meeting sometimes. That's like a more advanced one, but that's something to think about. But in this in-meeting basic, if you click on down there, you can prevent participants from saving the chat. I don't know why you would want to, but you can. You also might want to disable the private chat. That's up to you. If you want your students to be able to talk to each other privately, you can have that. But if you don't want them like having a side conversation, while you're doing it, then you can disable that so that students can't have that private chat. You can also auto save the chat. So like I get like this get the text automatically. And then here is where the screen sharing. So you can say only the host can share their screen or all participants. And then same thing, I think there was, and then here was the whiteboard one. So auto save whiteboard content when sharing is stopped. So there are just a gazillion. So right now we have that non-verbal feedback, so you guys could give the thumbs up and all that stuff. You could disable that if you wanted to.
And
So there's
Joanna,
yeah.
Joanna, if you could also, under breakout rooms, so we
Yeah.
didn't get to go to, that's going to be kind of a Zoom 102 session, but
Yeah.
the breakout room, you want to have this enabled so that you have the option, because when you have the pro account, and all of you, I just posted in the chat, if you don't have the CCC Confer Zoom, then you need to get that. Okay, you all should have that. You have access to it, so please. And if you already had the small account that's like the 40-minute that everybody was talking about, you're going to have to upgrade that, and you might need to also make that bridge into getting into Canvas, which can take a little while too. So you want to make sure that you're just kind of handling this stuff. I know it's stressful, but you're going to want to definitely, I mean, it's free for you. So please get that thing. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, just generally speaking, there's a ton of stuff. I mean, this page goes on forever, right? There's a ton of settings on here, and I will say they're relatively self-explanatory. They do give pretty good explanations of what they are, but really the way you get to know this stuff is just by playing around with it.
Yeah.
And Zoom itself does offer a lot of great trainings as well, like webinars like this that are offered by actual Zoom folks. We're doing it more from our perspective of being users, but there's all kinds of stuff in there. And again, it tells you start meetings with host video on. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, these little things. So feel free to play around with that as well. You'll see there's a lot of stuff in there.
Okay, so there are a couple
Stop sharing.
questions in here that are good ones. One of them, and I just want to highlight this one. And I know about this because I've been doing a lot of recording and pulling these things out. So I'm going to go ahead and answer this one, but ask about like how do you save the recordings with the chat session and such. And basically there are multiple, when you can download the multiple or see the multiple ones. And the one that you're going to want to choose, I believe it's like the speaker view, and it has the chat on the side, but it also has a speaker chat too. And the chat is also downloadable. You have to, again, save it as you do in this session. You have to go ahead and save that, download it, save it as a text file, and then you're going to be able to open it. Okay, so those are some options, and we can go again more intensively into this in a Zoom 102. So I think breakout rooms and recording, like more intensive kind of recording stuff. Does that sound good to everybody? Like to have kind of like a follow-up where we do some of these more intensive things? Okay, cool.
And also
the other one, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You don't have to
Go
wait
ahead.
for us to do that. I mean, we'll definitely do that, but Zoom, the Zoom website, I know Keelan posted that. The Zoom website
Yeah.
has tons of great resources on it too. And you can, I mean, my favorite thing, what I always do to find anything in the world is to Google it. So I just Google how to record in Zoom and it'll take you right there. So you don't have to like, schlep through all of the various resources on Zoom. Just Google the specific thing that you want, and there'll be something on the Zoom website that will answer that question. They're pretty good about it. And we obviously don't work for Zoom, just to make that clear.
Yeah.
I'm freezing in my house.
I thought maybe we've got 1 minute. If you guys look up at the screen above the speaker view, you see where it's set, where there's like a bunch of little boxes and it says gallery view. Have you guys found that? If you click on gallery view, you can see everyone's face. Well, a lot of people's faces, sorry, pluralize that. And then you'll see like that there's a lot of people still on here. So there's 1 of 4 and you can just keep on, you know, scrolling over to the right. So that's kind of a nice feature too, is to see how many people are on. Whoop, whoop, holla if you hear me, seeing it? Yeah. I'm gonna send you all my workout video link later. That's right. We're gonna do some workout together. Well, we are at time. It is 2 o'clock. I wanna respect your time and thank you again for being with us today. Y'all are awesome. Keelan is going to put some of our upcoming events, I think, in the chat. Again, if you have any questions that are coming up, you can always email us at ask3csn.org. We are here to answer your questions. And as I mentioned before earlier today when we first started, we are compiling an FAQ from all of the chat questions that we're getting from all of the Zooms that we've been having over the last couple weeks. So hopefully we'll post those out this week. And if your name and your email is in that chat, we'll make sure that you get those resources. Have a wonderful day. Be safe.
So
Stay
we
healthy.
wanted to just quickly let you know that at 2:30 we are having a session that's specifically, I mean, it's for everybody, but there's a focus on ESL, ELL, EFL instruction and support. So please join us in that one. It's a time to talk through like how do we do this kind of support. And then at 4 o'clock, if you have students who need help, please send them our way. We have every day at 4. We are in this support, and then there's some mindfulness later in the afternoon. And then I'm also putting a link to our Padlet, which has a lot of resources as well, including all of the information about the Zoom sessions and trainings. So I'm also pasting that in the chat. Super grateful for all of you, and
Yay.
keep doing all of this amazing work that you're doing. You are truly heroes and champions, and the students appreciate it. And the students that I've invited have said, I had no idea how much these instructors cared, how much these staff members cared. And I'm like, you know, I've been telling them, I'm like, they spend their whole day, you know, just like days after days, you know, together in community, trying to just like learn everything that they can to support you in the best way and each other the best way that they can. So we're just super grateful for all of you. So keep coming. We'll be seeing you.